8 here on the Radio Wammo Breakfast.
One short of a six-pack. Lights are on, but no one's home. I can imagine from the outside looking in, anyone that's racing a TT looks like the lights are on, but no one's home.
Game on.
First film we're looking at is called TT3D, Closer to the Edge. Lena Lamont has been and seen it. Good morning, Lena.
Oh, good morning, Wammo. I've just hearing the trailer again, having seen the film. Can I lay all my cards on the table straight off?
Sure.
This is the best film I have seen this year so far.
Wow.
And I know today's 1st of September, so that's quite, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, just even hearing the bit of trailer, I'm right back there. This is an exhilarating... Okay, get this right. People go, really? What's so good about this film? I go, well, it's a documentary about a motorcycle road race shot in 3D. And I think I lost them at maybe motorcycle.
Right.
But you just have to take my word for it.
Mm-hmm.
So this film is TT3D.
What does the TT stand for?
Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'm glad that I know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, this film is a documentary. It was filmed in 2010 in the Isle of Man, and it surrounds the annual... Pretty sure it's annual ever since the beginning of time. Isle of Man motorcycle TT road race, and TT stands for Tourist Trophy, basically, but it's known as the TT. Because everyone now who knows that, everyone who goes knows, and there are people who have been going for decades. There's one guy who turns up from somewhere in Scandinavia, I think, or maybe Germany, and he wears one of those classic kind of biker overalls that he's been wearing the same one every year for something like, I don't know, 30 years or something.
Yeah, his lucky set of overalls.
Like, totally, but like the proper, when I say overalls, I don't mean the mechanic side, I mean the racing side, with all the, the proper badges and everything.
Nice leathers.
Leathers
the ones
is what
that you
I
can
mean.
go skating along the road
Like,
in,
totally.
and then you get up and go, oh, that was fun.
And needless to say, in this film, it's a fantastic sports documentary. And can I just say also, I really need to make it quite clear, I'm not a motorcycle person,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I love documentaries.
Yeah.
I would have been sceptical about the notion of filming a doco in 3D as well, but it totally works.
But you feel the exhilaration.
Oh my goodness, you feel the exhilaration.
Because this is one of the most dangerous motorcycle races in the world, because it's not on a normal, motorcycle track.
No, that's right.
These are roads.
That's exactly right. It's a bit like going to Battle of the Streets down in Pyro. Did you ever do that? I don't know if that's all been like...
That's where they put up the hay bales.
Right,
on
so
corners,
that was all
right?
hay bales. And this is, slightly more high-tech than hay bales. But you're right, it's a road race, so it's driving around the Isle of Man. And there are key corners that everybody knows are the difficult ones, and there are key areas, and, be careful, and da-da-da. And so, as they're racing, they're driving sometimes through the most beautiful, sort of English-looking, because obviously Isle of Man is the Channel Islands, it's a little bit like England.
I might have done it on a computer game at one point.
You probably have. So you're going through beautiful, like, English villages, and then all of a sudden you're into fantastic English countryside sort of thing,
Yeah.
So not only does the film look amazing because the scenery's amazing, but it's shot in 3D, so it's extra vibrant. They don't do all the stupid things of, like, having motorcycles ride out of the screen into your face, like, one might in a normal sort of stupid 3D film. And key to this film is the fact that, and I always say, with documentaries, right, the filmmakers picking up their camera, they're shooting something that's real life and non-fiction and can't therefore be scripted. So you're taking a chance, aren't you, on what's going to happen. The other thing that you're taking a chance on is if I decide to follow Wammo around and do a documentary about Wammo, I better be hoping Wammo is an exciting central character, right?
What a yawn. Yeah.
Well, and maybe that's why I haven't approached you to do it yet. No, I'm just saying. But you know what I mean? You've got to hope that your central character is exciting, is interesting, will talk and all that. So
might murder someone, that would be...
Maybe even, right?
Yeah.
As a spoiler alert, this guy doesn't murder anybody.
Oh, okay.
But he's this 28-year-old guy, Guy Martin, and he is just the best protagonist you could have in any movie, documentary or otherwise.
Yeah.
And he has competed in the TT Isle of Man TT race many years. He's desperately after a win. So we get to go behind the scenes with him, and I think that's important as well. You get inside the psyche of the riders. You get to see why is it so hard, what are the challenges, who are the other people that you're up against, and what are their stories and all that,
So is it the account of one particular race as well in one year?
It's the 2010 race, yeah. It is.
Does it bounce between, throughout, conversations with him and then back to the race conversation?
Totally.
Okay.
Absolutely, totally. And conversations with other racers. And a bit of voiceover. The voiceover, actually, is Jared Leto. Do you remember Jared Leto's an actor from so many years ago? I can't remember the last thing he did. I know that he plays in a band. He's a hip young thing, and he's clearly a motorcycle enthusiast.
Okay.
I'm guessing that's why they would have picked
voice.
him. Perfectly good voice for this sort of thing. So the point is that, Jared obviously does a little bit of voiceover about, filling in the gaps for us. The footage of the races is extraordinary.
Yeah.
And of course there are inevitably thrills and spills.
Yeah, right.
And the spills are absolutely breathtaking and shocking, and there is tragedy in this as well.
There's always a death every year or something on this race or something along those lines.
I don't know. I don't know
about
stats,
that's true, but
there was
there must be a high body count,
right? So there's
over the years
fairly significant kind of crashes in this one, even know.
Okay, and as you say, spectacular scenery, spectacular footage must be seen on the big screen.
Totally, it makes you think, wow, my next holiday destination is the Isle of Man. So
this is refreshing because a few weeks ago when I wanted to go see something in 3D, the Captain America was perhaps the only choice there was. So this is great. Now this is the one to go and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yes. I mean, this is the film to go see if you're just interested in life. I think that one of the taglines is that one of the pundits says, if you're not excited, or exhilarated, he might even say, if you're not excited, you're not alive.
Right.
And it's definitely like that. You can't leave the cinema without feeling this wow.
Is it out now? Out today? Or?
I believe it is out today.
Okay. Good.
Get
All right.
in there.
Next.
I've killed you. You were half asleep.
I'll do better next time.
Tell me again.
Adapt or die.
Think on your feet.
Even when I'm sleeping. I'm ready.
All you have to do is flip that switch. It tells Mercer Regler where we are. Only you can get close enough. She won't stop until you're dead. Or she is.
Hannah is the name of this film, Lena.
What an intriguing little beast this is. Okay, this is not a documentary and it's not shot in 3D. We'll just say that straight away. I can't remember if there are motorcycles in it. So this is, as you would often say, Wammo.
It's just for an aeroplane.
Right, okay. Maybe that's inevitable. This is something completely different. Hannah. Right. Do you remember years and years ago watching a film called The Professional, which was also known as Leon in some... it was the one with little Natalie Portman, and she becomes the apprentice to Jean Reno's assassin, and he teaches her everything he knows. You must have seen this.
Like the Karate Kid.
Back in the 90s. You always say everything's like the Karate Kid.
Everything comes back down to the Karate Kid.
It kind of does, I guess. Right, so anyway... In this film, there's this wonderful little Irish actress called Saoirse Ronan. You will have seen her in The Lovely Bones most recently. She was the little girl who died and whose story is The Lovely Bones.
Yeah.
And originally she was in Atonement. So she's a pretty extraordinary little actress, actually. She's very, very talented for her age. And in this film, she plays a young German girl called Hannah, who is living out in the snow in bleak isolation, goodness knows where, with her father, Eric Bana. Mm-hmm. And we all know Eric Bana, Chopper, the Hulk, blah, blah, blah. And he's teaching her all number of martial arts and hand-to-hand combat and weapons and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right, and what I like about this film is that as it unfolds, you really don't know what's going on at all. I don't mean obscure don't know what's going on. You can see that ostensibly a dad is teaching his daughter how to fight, but you're like, well, I don't know why.
Okay.
And
there's bears out there. Wild animals.
There are bears out there, but it's worse than bears.
All right.
Because apparently there is a woman who would kill Hannah if she ever came into contact with her, and we find out that that's Cate Blanchett.
Okay.
No, I think maybe best if we don't try and make the little guesses as we go, Wammo. Just let it unfold. This is the beautiful thing about this film. I thoroughly enjoyed not knowing what was going on until things happened. So it's basically... She's a little bit of a Jason Bourne, right? Because she's trained up in all these skills. She is able to fabricate a life so that she has like like spies have a story of who they are and who they're friends with and what languages they speak and what address they live at and all that sort of thing. So she's got all that down. So when she's thrown inevitably into the real world, you get that fantastic You get that fantastic fish out of water kind
Right.
of experience
Yeah.
where she has no experience of the modern world, of being a teenager, of wearing makeup, of pashing boys and all that sort of thing. But she kind of has to get with the program pretty quickly. But on the other hand, she is also this little killing machine
Yeah.
who's on a mission.
Deadly weapon with her hands.
She is a deadly weapon with any weapon. So
Okay.
you get a fantastic Chemical Brothers soundtrack.
Right.
Really, there are some cool little escape scenes that are set
Okay, so
to
early
Chemical Brothers.
Early feedback I got from someone else on this film was fantastic soundtrack, film not so good.
Really? Really?
What are
For
your
so-
thoughts?
For some reason, the film really did it for me. I
Okay.
really enjoyed it. I really liked the elements that I mentioned. I like it when you've got somebody who's pretending to be somebody else. And we, the audience, obviously know. So we get that pleasure of thinking, I wonder how this is going to turn out, because we all know that actually Hannah is a top-class sort of trained assassin almost. Whereas the people that she's with just think that she's a little girl travelling through Europe on her own and being very independent, you know. So I think that sort of thing's cool. The fight scenes are great. She's a curious little beast, this little Saoirse Ronan. She's made to look very sort of ethereal and very petite and very sort of soft, and yet she has this sort of inherent hardness about her. I don't know, I just found it really interesting. I found the story unfolding interesting. She travels across Europe, which is also a little bit like a Jason Bourne movie. You know, she goes to Morocco and through Spain and things.
Is there a nomination in here for the young actress?
Whoa, I don't know whether the Academy would nominate this sort of film. That's
Okay,
the thing.
right.
It's pretty violent. It's not like gory horror violent. I don't mean that. But I don't know. She was nominated for Atonement. I'm pretty sure she was nominated for Atonement. And I suppose the only other point of interest is that the chap who directed this film, Joe Wright, is a fantastic young British director with the sort of career we all wish we had. And he's the guy who directed Atonement and Pride and Prejudice. And so this is him showing that he can slip into a completely different genre. I think another thing I like about this Wammo is that whereas the Bourne films are typically kind of American spy thrillers, this seems very, very European. And actually, I can't think of a single American in the cast, because you've got Aussies, you've got English and Irish, and so it's a really, in fact, yeah. So
Okay.
it's a really eclectic cast. I think it gives it a different sort of twist.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Hannah is the name of the film, and if you want to check out more film reviews from Lean Lamont, you can see them in the Sunday Star Times, and also leanlamont.wordpress.com. Thanks, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Sure.
I tried to prepare you.
You didn't prepare me for this.
Sometimes children are bad people too.
Did she turn out as you hoped?